The effective throat thickness is K times the size of weld. What is the value of K when angle between fusion faces is 80? A 0.5, B 0.65, C 0.7, D 1. The correct answer is 0.7. The maximum size of fillet weld is obtained by A. Adding 1.5 mm to thickness of thinner member to be jointed. B. Adding 3 mm to thickness of thinner member to be jointed. C. Subtracting 3 mm from thickness of thinner member to be jointed. D. Subtracting 1.5 mm from thickness of thinner member to be jointed. The correct answer is subtracting 1.5 mm from thickness of thinner member to be jointed. Which of the following option is incorrect? A. Effective length of groove weld should not be less than 4 times the weld size. B. Effective length of groove weld should be less than 4 times the weld size. C. Effective length of intermittent weld should not be less than 4 times the weld size. D. Effective length of intermittent weld should have a minimum length 80 mm. The correct answer is effective length of groove weld should be less than 4 times the weld size. Which of the following is not true regarding effective throat thickness of weld? A. Effective throat thickness should not be less than 3 mm. B. It should not exceed 0.7 T or 1 T where T is thickness of thinner plate of elements being welded. C. Effective throat thickness Kx size of weld where K is a constant. D. Effective throat thickness Kx size of weld 2 where K is a constant. The correct answer is effective throat thickness Kx size of weld 2 where K is a constant. Effective length of fillet weld is A. Equal to overall length plus twice the weld size. B. Twice the overall length plus twice the weld size. C. Equal to overall length minus twice the weld size. D. Twice the overall length minus twice the weld size. The correct answer is equal to overall length minus twice the weld size. End returns are made. A. Equal to twice the size of weld. B. Equal to half the size of weld. C. Equal to the size of weld. D. Equal to thrice the size of weld. The correct answer is equal to twice the size of weld. The minimum size of fillet weld should A. Not be less than 3 mm. B. Be less than 3 mm. C. Be less than 2 mm. D. Greater than thickness of thinner part joined. The correct answer is not be less than 3 mm. The length of overlap of plates to be fillet welded in lap joint. A. Should not be less than 4 times the thickness of thinner part. B. Should be less than 4 times the thickness of thinner part. C. Should be less than 2 times the thickness of thinner part. D. Should not be less than 2 times the thickness of thinner part. The correct answer is should not be less than 4 times the thickness of thinner part. What is the minimum specified length of fillet weld? A. 2 times the size of weld. B. 4 times the size of weld. C. 6 times the size of weld. D. Half the size of weld. The correct answer is 4 times the size of weld. Which of the following are not the assumptions made in the analysis of welded joints? A. Welds connecting various joints are homogeneous isotropic. B. Parts connected by weld are rigid. C. Only stresses due to internal forces are considered. D. Effects of residual stresses are neglected. The correct answer is only stresses due to internal forces are considered.